Hi guys, it's Chris Coney here. Now, I was listening to some more Abraham Hicks recently, and I came up with a question which I imagine is quite a popular one. And it's this: does contrast mean I have to feel bad? So when Abraham talks about the contrast causing us to launch rockets of desire, does contrast automatically mean a bad feeling? And I'm going to answer that question from my point of view. So here's a simple graph. So say 0 out of 10 is the worst you could possibly feel, and 10 out of 10 is the best you could possibly feel. So we might have a certain experience that kind of goes up and down and feel good, then we feel bad. And that's what I think most people imagine when they think about contrast. So the low dips are the ones where you experience the contrast, feel bad, that causes a rocket of desire to be launched. And then if you manifest it, it's the process of manifesting that takes you up the emotional guidance scale, and then you feel good as a result, right? So it's actually the distance between these two lines here, that's the contrast, yeah? Because you notice the difference between the highs and the lows. But what if you had an experience like this, where you still went up and down, still experienced the contrast, but instead of going from 10 to 0 and back up again, experiencing a big difference, what if you went from 10 out of 10 to 8 out of 10? That would still be contrast, because you would notice the dip that 8 out of 10 felt worse than 10 out of 10. Even though it didn't feel bad, it would still feel worse than 10 out of 10. And that dip in a still a good feeling but a less good feeling would be enough contrast to launch another rocket of desire, and then you could climb back up to a 10, down to 8, up to 10, down to 8, up to 10, down to 8, up to 10. So that you could live like that, yeah? So you'd still experience contrast, your emotions would still fluctuate, but you wouldn't necessarily have to go down into the depths of despair. I suppose that one there, 8 to 10 out of 10, would be the ideal life. So going back to the emotional guidance scale, you don't have to go right from joy and then crash all the way down to depression, grief and fear in order to launch a rocket of desire to come right back up again. You could just go down the spiral to from 10 out of 10, which would be joy, to say enthusiasm, but you'd notice a drop. And then you go, okay, I've lost something there, so you launch a rocket of desire, manifest it, climb back up, and then again, have another contracted experience which wasn't as good as joy, and then climb back up again. So in the answer to the question, does contrast mean I have to feel bad? The answer is no.